Welcome back to the Love Course. Here we go again, y'all. Part 3. An acknowledgement what you have started on the Mighty Lowe's team by being heroes to the cardholders from accessing your natural love as power. So, access to the power, Part 3, complaints. Our complaints and issues. Not everybody else's, ours. The truth will set you free. There are times we as heroes to the cardholders have complaints. Sometimes we acknowledge those complaints either verbally or by our actions. Other times, through innuendos or lack of action, we acknowledge those complaints. Either way, these complaints can be debilitating and become barriers, keeping your highest and best from being manifested. Oh, no, not that. For a hero to the cardholder, these complaints are like kryptonite Superman or Superwoman. During this segment, we're going to look at the nature of a complaint, what's behind the complaint, what you get from holding on to a complaint. Right versus wrong. Complaints exist when we have conversations based on there is something wrong. This is wrong. It shouldn't be this way. Or simply, I am right, you are wrong. Complaints are not created equally. We're going to have an inquiry, that is, about a specific type of complaint, the persistent complaints. These are the complaints you may or may not give voice to, but you know in your heart of hearts they exist, and they have existed for more than a few days. The nature of being human is we want to be right. Anytime we're holding on to something, especially a complaint, it is because we're getting something from keeping it around, like a payoff. When we're being right about our complaints, we get a payoff. That's right, payoff. I am right, others are wrong. I can justify my actions and invalidate your actions or the actions of others. I can dominate the conversation and not have to hear anything or the other side or avoid the domination of listening to another's point of view. Avoid responsibility. When we are being right about our complaints, we get a payoff, but there are costs. Costs like health and vitality, love, joy, freedom, power. So, here is my example of this. I was once working on a job doing crisis intervention. And as a crisis counselor, as a crisis intervention specialist and counselor, for me, it seemed as if I was being asked to do more. It seemed as if I was being asked to do extra, a little bit more than some of my coworkers were being asked to, and a little bit more was expected out of me. And I couldn't really understand why. I didn't understand why if I did something that someone else did, for instance, leaving a call a little early, or if I stayed a little long, or if I didn't finish some paperwork effectively, doing the same thing that some of my coworkers were doing or other people were doing, and not throw anybody under the bus. No, we don't want to do that. But I'm just saying I wasn't doing anything any different than others around me. And for me, when something was brought to my attention that was not being brought to anybody else's attention, I needed to point it out. And I needed to say something and voice my opinion, voice my feelings, voice my emotions, because I wanted to be, and I was, right. But that was my payoff. But the cost of me doing that prevented me from seeing that I was really not only selling myself short in my duties, but I was also selling somebody else short. And also, it affected my attitude in coming to work. And in doing that, that took away love. That took away some joy, and those were costs. What was brought to my attention eventually and essentially was that my supervisors knew that I had something more in me, that they knew that they could get out of me. And so they had their expectations set higher for me because of that. So, payoff and cost. Love assignment. So here's what we're going to do. I want you to list all of your persistent complaints. Break them up into categories. Card holders. What are your complaints about the card holders? Sykes, Lowe's, Quick Any Bank, relationships, romance. For each complaint, answer these questions. What are the payoffs from holding on to these complaints? What are the costs from holding on to this persistent complaint? What conversation am I willing to give up or create to let go and let my natural love come through? Every day, choose someone on your list where the presence of love has been missing. Communicate with them and have a conversation that restores the presence of love. Being a hero feels good because in your heart of hearts, you know who you are and what you gave, and you are proud of yourself. You wear your cape